enormous impact on your life. Well, then congratulations. You either have a trust fund or you're an adorable baby. Or maybe you're a dog. Here's what I know. Talking about racism just creates more racism. No. First off, race isn't the problem. Racism is. And even if it was the problem...
No. First of all, you just said A isn't the problem, A is the problem. You just went like this. No. Clapping hands isn't the problem, clapping hands is the problem. Actually, you said this. No. Clapping hands isn't the problem, is the problem. That's what you just did, okay? Because, why? Do I have to go back to it again? Because you're a fucking moron. You're too smart to do this. You are morally culpable. You know better.
Problems don't get worse when you talk about them, and they don't magically go away when you ignore them.
I'm not asking you to stop talking about racism as a problem. I'm not asking you to stop ignoring racism as a problem. I'm asking you to stop practicing racism, right? The thing that you're saying is bad.
Not true. I had 5 cavities, I ignored them, and all 5 of those teeth fell out. Poof. Problem solved.
If you've got 5 cops, right? White, self-identified as white. 5 victims, self-identified as black. Every one of those 5 cops is white. Every one of those 5 victims is black. Looks like you got 5 murderers on your hand. Well, let's focus on that, right? Because what you're doing is distracting from that. You're making it less likely those cops go to jail because now we're worried about their attitudes. See? See how the damage you do? See how much damage you do to society? See how you hurt people? What do you mean I do damage to society? You can't show that. I know, because this society metaphor you keep using is bullshit. You do damage to human beings, individual human beings, by your awfulness.
Colorblindness, while nice in theory, has no effect on structural and institutional racism.
Okay, now you've defined colorblindness, you're going to know in a second. Do you define structural and institutional racism? Let's see.
Racism is a system, and that system benefits certain people at the expense of others. Ignoring it just lets those problems persist.
Structural racism is a system that benefits certain people at the expense of others, and ignoring it just lets those problems persist. I see. So that's great. No more specific than that in your definition? So any system that benefits anybody for any reason is structural racism, or what? It's got to benefit some people because of their race, so like a law that says if you self-identify as a white person you get this, but if you self-identify as something else you get that. Because you already indicated there's nothing real about it, it's not biological, so it's got to be self-identification, right? You see what you've done here? You see how you double bind yourself, stupid?
Don't believe me? Let's take a look at some examples where colorblindness doesn't work. Number 1, preschool punishment. Let's face a fact, preschool-aged children of every race are monsters. But according to the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights report released in 2014, black children make up 18% of preschoolers, but almost half of all suspensions.
So let's just skip right past the only question that matters and get to the actual mush that I want to use in place of actual arguments. Number 1, are you forcing human beings to stay where they don't want to be against their will for long periods of time, doing things they don't want to do against their will for long periods of time? Are you enslaving people? Yes, you are. You're a slaver. You're enslaving whom? You're enslaving children because you're supporting preschool, right? You like preschool. You are saying that because individuals who self-identify as African American are statistically more likely to resist this enslavement, that somehow society needs to do something differently. Well, fuck yeah, they do. We need to not worry about whether or not these people or those people are self-identified as this, get more punished by the slavery, or those get less punished by the slavery. We need to fucking worry about the slavery. Stop forcing children to do things they don't want to do for long periods of time and stay places they don't want to be. And maybe we wouldn't have to worry about whether or not the wardens of that environment execute punishments upon them equally. Are the rights of these children being violated or not? If they are, that's the fucking problem. You're worried about whether, no, it's not fair. They need to violate all our rights equally. No, they need to violate none of our rights at all. Duh.
Half. And I don't think anybody believes all these preschool teachers are racist out to get little black children, but the data shows that black and Latino children often face steeper punishments than their white classmates for the same behavior. That's a problem. And simply believing...
I've seen it too. I've seen students receive excessive punishment, and I've seen it correlate with dark skin. I've seen it in school environments. The problem is, always and only, is the punishment in that circumstance excessive or correct? Now, if there's some specific reason for it to be whatever it is, and it's appropriate, then it's appropriate. And if it's not, then it's fucked. And it doesn't fucking matter if they're black or not. Allowing it to go on disproportionately, it just ignores the problem. It's just going to make it worse. No, you stupid bitch, no. It's not going to make it worse. You're not ignoring the problem. You're addressing the real problem instead of chasing the carrot. You see, you got a carrot hanging in front of you, right? You're gonna pull that plow behind you, and you keep going for that carrot, but you're never gonna get there, right? Never gonna get there. What should you do instead? You need to look at the fact that you are yoked to a wagon right now, right? When you keep insisting that your yoke is part of your liberation, you have a fucking problem. Alright, that's it for this video. I'm fucking tired of this bitch.
We shouldn't see race or we shouldn't talk about race does nothing to solve this problem. Number 2, the name study. A study by the National Bureau of Economic Research confirmed that people with ethnic sounding names, that's a whole nother episode, are less likely to get interviewed when they apply for jobs.
Okay. So, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna coerce people, right? Well, let's get more legislation involved, making sure that if your name is LaQuisha, that you get hired, even if you're not qualified. or I know, let's make a rule that businesses have to interview 10% people with stupid names. LaQuisha's a stupid fucking name. Who would name their kid LaQuisha? Well, I mean, I wouldn't name my kid LaQuisha. It doesn't mean it's stupid, Eric. You're just showing how racist you are. Did I say black people shouldn't name their kid LaQuisha? Did I say black people are going to name their kid LaQuisha? I just said LaQuisha's a stupid fucking name. I know lots of people who would agree and lots of people who maybe would disagree. And whether or not those people are whatever race they want to self-identify as is fine. I'm not saying you can't talk about race. I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about race. I'm saying you should talk about race correctly. You like right now, what you should be doing, stupid MTV bitch, you should be saying, hey everybody, I'm Courtney for Dank Swag News, and I'm here to say I'm self-identifying as African American today. Why? Well, because my actual race of Asian got a little tired of the karate. And so I changed. I know I look Asian, but I decided I'm going to be African American today. And it doesn't, the important thing is, it's only good to talk about race and racism if you're making jokes and stuff about it. It's great. If you're talking about actual problems in the world, well, that's stupid. That's stupid to think that you can solve problems by worrying about people's attitudes. Yeah, it's really fucking stupid. Okay? This makes me angry. It makes me so angry that somebody is so wrong, reasonably convincingly to a layperson anyway.
Meanwhile, applicants with white-sounding names actually get 33% more callbacks for interviews.
Look, both of these people are the same skin color. The only difference is the name. So how is it their race that's involved in this at all? Is it a non-skin color part of race you're talking about? Because I know that there's lots of different things that are included in race for sure. But look here, LaQuisha and Jessica, they're wearing the same clothes. They have the same skin tone in general. They both look Asian to me. I don't know. They both look Asian, and one of them has that stereotypical Asian name, LaQuisha, and the other one has that stereotypical African-American name, Jessica. And to me, I just think, well, if I was a hiring guy, I certainly would consider any applicant entirely based on their competency. I want the disheveled, bearded guy that smells like cigarette smoke in that picture there too. And if his name's LaQuisha, and he actually understands his shit, well, I'm going to choose him, even though he's dark green. Okay? Doesn't matter that he's dark green and named LaQuisha, and that he smells like cigarettes, because he's actually competent. Get it? That's the only thing that matters. Get it? Fuckface?
It's the equivalent of having 8 years of additional experience. Shout out to all the white Taquans struggling to get job interviews. And it's...
That's pretty funny. Shout out to all the white Taquans struggling to get job interviews. Don't name your kid fucking Taquan then. And if you are named Taquan, don't go by it. Write down Scott. My name's Scott. Well, people shouldn't have to. Well, fuck you. So what are you going to do? Police their attitudes? Talking about it is not helping the way you're talking about it. I mean, it's helping a great deal because I'm getting to tear you to pieces like this. And this is very, very helpful for you. I hope you see it. You're going to learn a lot.
It's not just black and white. They've done similar studies around the world, and in Canada, people with white-sounding names were 35% more likely to get callbacks than people with Indian or Chinese.
Okay, I cannot tolerate this racism anymore. Will you stop telling people what their names sound like? My name's Eric. I'm Chinese. You're going to tell me my name sounds white to you? Well, fuck you, bitch. I don't care what you think my name sounds like. It sounds like a Chinese name to me because I'm Chinese. Like, look at this guy. Hutzau. Hutzau is German, I guess? I don't know. Polish? It's hard to tell, but Hutzau, he's got a hard name to say. Well, who wants to hire somebody with a hard name to say? Susan. Now, that's my name. I'm Susan. Susan Eric B. Anthony, they call me. And my mom and my dad wanted to mix girl names and boy names together. So I've got a name that's Chinesey. It's both genders, and I love it. It's fun. It's the hiring agents love it. I talk to the human resource people. I say, well, the Chinese man, it's not easy when you're burdened with a name like Susan B. Anthony Eric. Susan B. Eric Anthony. Susan Eric B. Anthony is my actual. It's all of that pushed together, and then they usually feel bad for me and they give me a job.
Names. So instead of just assuming people shouldn't care about color or names, companies, governments, and schools should take the bias out of hiring and experiment with nameless resumes to, solve the problem.
What problem is it? What problem is it? Have you actually even compared the population of people with those names who are being impacted with their actual competence level? What if the people with crazy names like that are actually less competent? Have you considered that possibility? Have you? Number 3, renting an apartment. It's so hard to rent an apartment if you're black, right? Well, what we need is fewer barriers to the markets, not more. You're making everything more difficult. You stupid goddamn bitch. Compton, shut the fuck up. Better get in there right now. Compton. Come here. Fucking Compton, I tell you. When you get a yellow dog, I tell you, they're terrible. The whole race of yellow dogs is terrible. Anyway, number 3, renting an apartment. Aw, let's hear what she says.
Sounding names. So instead of just assuming people shouldn't care about color or names, companies, governments, and schools should take the bias out of hiring and experiment with nameless resumes to, solve the problem. Number 3.
Okay, so they should. Why are you telling other people's own businesses what they should do? Why? Why are you thinking that's a good idea? It's not your concern. Why don't you start a business and you do that?
3. Renting an apartment. When the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Urban Institute did a study about...
Stop. Why do we have a government agency doing these fucking things in the first place? Why are they doing a study about real estate? If you want to buy some apartments and rent to only black people, why don't you do that? Oh, how about we rent to only green people? Or only white people? How about that? Well, that would be a stupid business decision because you'd be losing so much money by choosing a worse person who's going to make a mess of your apartment over a better person just because of their skin color? You mean that would be unwise and cause you to experience the natural consequences of a poor business decision and cause you to go out of business? Oh, it sounds like there's a check and a balance system already in the status quo. Let's hear.
Real estate, they found that Black, Latino, and Asian renters were shown up to 12% fewer units than white renters.
Maybe they made a quicker choice. Maybe white people are super indecisive. 12... Shown by whom?
And when the Fair Housing Justice Center used actors to apply for apartments, they found that Black and Latino renters were often told there were no apartments available, while white applicants were shown apartments in the same building. So this...
Actors, huh? No, that's really reliable. They must have double-blinded that, huh? Double-blinded the actors? So they didn't know which race they're playing? They didn't tell them? Well, okay.
Building has a pool, a laundry room, and a racist landlady. Colorblindness won't fix housing discrimination.
Okay, does the racist landlady own that building? Is it her building? Did she put her labor and hard work into buying that building? Is it her prerogative to be racist if she wants? Or are you going to police everybody's fucking mental state? Colorblindness won't fix housing discrimination. What you are advocating for, a bunch of federal legislation and bullshit like that, will fix property rights, will fix people who are done nothing wrong being subject to violence. They'll fix that. Oh yeah, good. Now we can use violence against people who've done nothing wrong. That's what you want.
We're going to need smart laws and a concerted effort for that. So
smart laws and a concerted effort. Fuck you and fuck you.
Tell me again how colorblindness is going to fix the fact that I can't get an education, a job, or a house. In many...
Well, you got a job with MTV, I'd point out, and I don't know if you've chosen to buy a house or maybe rent. I got a rental, right? I stayed here for a long time because I got a good deal on rent. I make economic decisions based on affordability, things like that. Lots of choices. You know, the good news is it's a big country. There's not every part of the country is always going to favor somebody's based on skin color. You can move around. Regardless, if you have your own fucking apartment, then you can rent however you want. Alright? You want to steal the money from black people who self-identify as black, hardworking, regular people like you and me. You want to steal their money. You then want to use it to fund violence against people who've done nothing wrong, and try to claim that you have some sort of moral high ground because, bitch, you are an unethical devil woman is what you are. Devil woman, go away home. Fly away there and stay there in Rome. And don't come back until you've got some sense in your dome. You evil, evil woman. I'm calling in my loan. Something like that. All right, so that should settle her out for a bit. Properly schooled.